this is the thing about depression and anxiety, is that when you're actually in that state and something's going on in your mind, what you're doing is you're thinking through emotions. You're not actually thinking logically. So, of course, what was running through my mind is that, I've got advanced osteoarthritis. I may end up in a wheelchair for the rest of my life because that's what it says. However, you realise when you're actually thinking through your emotions and then you pull you back logically, you realise that does not necessarily mean that's going to happen to you. Everything becomes really huge in their mind because they're allowing themselves to just sit there and allow their mind to chatter. But when you actually decide to say, okay, I'm going to take some action, maybe I'll go and talk to a friend who's sensible, smart, and not going to say to me, well, just think from your heart. Do what your heart tells you, because I can tell you now, when you do what your heart tells you when you're depressed, it's normally you're doing it from the emotional feelings of sadness, and this is not the time to make a good decision, or a choice. So it's really important that you actually, you actually distract yourself and walk away from that and talk to somebody, or basically decide that you're going to distract yourself like I did today. And, I hadn't slept for 3 days. I've been waking up at 3 o'clock with pain. And I have really thought, oh, my God, I've got all this stuff wrong with my hips, my spine, my knee, my femur, oh, my God. Am I ever going to recover? Will I be able to work? I love working. Oh, my God, will I ever be able to do the art again? And this can be a really vicious cycle if you allow yourself to stay in that bedroom or wherever you are in your house and just let the cycle of mind chatter go without grabbing hold of it and saying, hang on a minute, and going and talking to someone. Or because I'm a counsellor, I can actually grab hold of that and go, hang on a minute, this is what you're doing, and you need to get dressed, go see your specialist today, get out of the house. Yes, you have got pain, but it's radically reduced since you had the third injection. You can get some painkillers. Yes, you will be going back to work on Thursday and Friday. Problem with emotional thinking is that when we're in an emotional state, we're actually just allowing our mind to irrationally chatter, and we see everything in a unrealistic, irrational way. And what we need to do is be able to pull ourselves back out of that and go, hang on a minute, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it, and I'm not going to allow myself to get into the trap of isolation and thinking and just basically going into that dark place. And this is what happens with people who are depressed and anxious. They allow themselves to sit there, refusing to move out of their room or moving and doing something like exercise, walking. It's always like, but I don't feel like it, but I can't. And that's because they're trapped in this mental situation of depression. And depression actually does make them feel like they can't achieve these things. When you're depressed, you stay there and you isolate and you let yourself think. All the thinking that you're doing is coming from your mood and your feeling, and it's not actually coming from a logical place. And this is why I say it's the worst time and to make decisions or choices about your life. And it's also really important that you put in your input into healing. I mean, if you're going to say, oh, but I don't feel like it, oh, but I can't, well, then no one can really help you. I mean, you have to pull yourself out and go, well, actually, exercise is a really fantastic way of putting dopamine into the brain. So I need to get off my ass and I need to go and do some exercise, or go and sit on the beach with a book, or go and talk to my mum, or go and talk to my friend, or go and have a coffee with someone, or whatever it is. But it is really important that you don't isolate yourself. And the thing is too, when you're like this, the worst thing you can be doing is watching social media and looking at everybody else. Because what happens is when you're in that depressed state of mind, what you're saying is, oh, but look at them. They're so happy. Look at the life that they've got. Oh, wow, they're so incredible. Look how much fun she's having. I mean, you don't know anything about these people on social media. They may be really awfully depressed. Look at Paris Hilton. Whoops, that was some wheels going. Paris Hilton, if you look at her life, she's just got married recently, but, if you look at her life, she was talking about how sad it was and how stressful it was and how lonely it was. And this is the same as Lady Gaga. Fame and fortune doesn't always make you happy, but it's a thing that we all kind of want. We all would like to be famous and probably make a big lot of money, even if we don't want to be famous. Sadly, with fame and fortune often comes is no privacy, people haunting you, people wanting you just for your money and your fame. So for you to compare yourself to people who are on social media is not a good thing. And this is what depressed people do. And then they suddenly think they're missing out on something. They think, well, look at them. They've got that. I haven't. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. Stop comparing yourself to people you don't have a clue about and you have no idea what their life is like. But when you're in a sad place and you're in that state of mind, we do tend to look at social media and start thinking that we're lacking something. So if you're suffering from depression, you really need to get off social media for a while and look at things that actually make you happy and well and smile.